Today on Sugar Spun Run, I'll be showing you how to make a carrot cake from scratch. For the longest time, the only reason I would eat carrot cake was because I wanted that cream cheese frosting on top. Well, I'm very proud to say that after a lot of recipe trial and error, I have finally developed a carrot cake recipe that is so good, I will eat it even without cream cheese frosting involved. Now, of course, for today's recipe, we are going to be covering our cake with cream cheese frosting, but I'm so excited to share this super moist, super flavorful, best ever carrot cake recipe with you. To begin, you're going to want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. With your oven preheated, now you'll want to grab a large mixing bowl. In this mixing bowl, we're going to combine 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of granulated sugar, 1 cup of dark or light brown sugar, 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, and then for our spices, we are going to add 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon and half a teaspoon of nutmeg. With your dry ingredients combined in the bowl, you're just going to want to use a spoon to stir everything together until your dry ingredients are well combined. We'll add 1 cup of canola or vegetable oil and half a cup or 1 stick of melted butter. At this point, the batter is going to be a little stiff, so rather than mixing by hand, I like to grab my electric mixer, or you can use a stand mixer if you have it, and use this to stir the ingredients until they're well combined. This recipe uses 4 eggs, and we're going to add them one at a time into our batter, stirring until each egg is well combined. With our eggs combined, now we're going to add 1 tablespoon of pure vanilla extract. I know that sounds like a lot, but it is going to give this carrot cake such a good flavor. We'll stir this together, and now come the carrots. This recipe uses 3 cups of grated carrots. For me, this is usually about 4 large carrots, and I always recommend peeling them before grating. I'm going to add this into our batter. And at this point, if you want to add any extras like raisins or nuts, I know a lot of people like walnuts or pecans in their carrot cake, you can add them here as well. For me, I like just carrots in mine, so that's all I'm adding, and I'm going to use a spatula to stir everything together until it's nicely combined. That's really all there is to making this carrot cake batter. It's a really nice and easy recipe, and that's one of the things I love most about it. Now that we have our batter prepared, we're going to need our cake pans. I like to use 2 8-inch cake pans for this recipe, but if you prefer, you can use 9-inch pans instead. I also always line the bottoms of my pans with parchment paper and then generously grease and flour the sides. That way I can be sure that my carrot cakes won't stick to the pans when they're finished baking. We will take our carrot cake batter and evenly divide this into our prepared pans. And now you'll transfer our carrot cakes to our 350 degree Fahrenheit preheated oven. These carrot cakes are going to need to bake for about 40 minutes in an 8-inch pan, and you'll need a little less time if you're using a 9-inch pan. Because they're so moist and dense, they need a little longer than your average cake recipe does. The best way to check that they're done baking is to take a toothpick and insert that in the center of the cake. If it comes out clean or with a few moist crumbs, you know it's finished. We will let these carrot cakes cool for about 15 minutes before running a knife between the edge of the cake and the edge of the pan to loosen them from the pan, and then gently inverting them onto a cooling rack where we will let them cool completely. Make sure that you let your carrot cakes cool completely before covering them with frosting. Once our cakes have cooled, now we can decorate them. Of course, I am going to be decorating my carrot cakes using cream cheese frosting. If you want the recipe for this frosting, just head over to my video library and you can grab the recipe there, or you can Google Sugar Spun Run cream cheese frosting. What we'll do is I'll transfer my cake to a serving platter. Because this cake is so moist, I usually like to do a crumb coating around the outside before I frost it completely. What this means is I will do a very thin layer and run my spatula around the outside to catch all of the crumbs. Then I'll transfer the cake to the fridge or to the freezer for about 15 to 20 minutes and then continue frosting. This will keep any crumbs from getting into my outside layer of frosting. Now, because I like a lot of frosting, I did use a double batch of my cream cheese frosting for this recipe, but if you're a little more conservative with your icing, you can get away with using a single batch. All right, as you guys can see, I never have been and never will be a cake decorator, but I am going to top this carrot cake off with just a little frosting on top. I have a little more cream cheese frosting, and I am going to be using my Wilton 8B tip. And then I'm just going to top these off with some finely chopped pecans. All right, while the decorating skills are certainly lacking, this carrot cake is finished, and I'm going to dig in and show you guys just how beautiful it is on the inside. And that is how you make my all-time favorite carrot cake recipe. This recipe is so moist and so full of flavor thanks to the spices we've added and the melted butter that we've used in addition to the oil. I really think you guys are going to love this. I really hope you'll try it out. Please leave me a comment and let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.